All right, we are live. I have missed y'all. Let's get everything in order for the chat on YouTube. No more events for the rest of the year that I need to not go live for, I think, so should be fine. Today was Chop City. I'm gonna look on the 4 hour really quick so people come in the live. See what we got here. See what we got here. Okay, yeah, it was just very choppy. Okay, so today I took 2 losses. I did break my rules, but only because, let's talk about it. Obviously I was confident in shorts, which is what we got. So y'all know I've been getting on now at 9:45. I'm going back to 10 o'clock. Like, why do I have that beginner thing? Like, I am profitable. I got funded really fast. So I'm not going to say, like, I'm not profitable or anything. But I am still a beginner, and I do make beginner mistakes emotionally. Nothing is broken my strategy, but why did I want to get on at 9:45? Why? Why? Don't know. Didn't need to. For reasons like this is why I started getting on at 10 o'clock, because you can be confident we're going down because we got a market trigger shift. However, 10 o'clock, you could go higher and then finally go down. Obviously, it was choppy all morning, so I wouldn't have held to this, but both of my TPs were hit. I trade 2 macros now, and this is the prime reason why you should set and forget. This is what I talk about. People are like, no, you don't need to set and forget. You need to manage your trades. No. Have a take profit 1 in profit. Technically, if I would have took this trade, I had a big stop loss here, so that's why my take profit 1 was here. But my take profit 1 is just 1 to 1, whatever that is. Take profit 1 is here. Boom. Then your winner just runs. So even if you lose the trade, you didn't lose any money. You made profit 1 to 1, then your stop loss is the same. And why did I take that? We came into this 1 hour for value gap, and then what happened? And then we inversed this 3-minute for value gap. But at 9:45, we did get SMT, so NQ was not in this for value gap yet, but ES already was at 9 o'clock. And it was a nice hammer candle to the downside. Let me show y'all. So today we're going to back test back at only 10 o'clock. I don't give a fuck about that. I've been giving a fuck about 9:30 and 9:45 to catch the moves, but even when we get continuation plays, you get a big move at 10, so there's no point of getting it at 9:45. Yeah, you'll catch higher on the move, but it doesn't matter. See, we didn't hit this for value gap yet, but on ES we did. See that? And then hold on. Yeah, it was a blue candle. So this candle. So we came into the fair value gap. Here we tapped into it, and we did it on this one. And that was SMT. And then we made a bunch of SMTs on the 3-minute that had me like, okay, yeah, I'm in drawdown, but we still could go lower. So we had SMT here on ES. This high took out the high at 9:30, and then this was another SMT at the moment. But then obviously when I'm closing green, we did get our market structure shift. We got a change in the state delivery. That's where I entered in off this candle close here. But yeah, just it didn't do it in the morning. It just wound up finally running down at, in the afternoon at like right before 2 o'clock. So it is what it is. Going back to 10 o'clock, so we're gonna back test today. What else? Oh, I broke my rules because I meant to move my stop loss up to here, but I didn't fast enough. I was doing my take profits on the downside to make sure they match up with, my tool here, and then it stopped me out. So that's why I got back in and broke my rule. And this is only $150 loss, and this was like obviously $200 loss, which isn't that bad. For 2 contracts, I was scared it was gonna be more. So that means this one would have been a nice like 170, which isn't bad. So yeah, so it did suck, but I was right. Would I have taken it in? What was I gonna say? Would I have stayed on to take profit the whole time? I don't know. I can't say. So it either been no trade, or by the time we got down to here, I might have sold, or maybe move stop loss to break even at that point and do nothing. I don't know if I would have held to 2 o'clock. I should just set and forget, But yeah, so we're gonna go back to just back testing 10 o'clock. I know I've been back testing like 9:30 and 10 o'clock, but yeah, 10 o'clock is just, it's just so much better because usually what you want is, 9:30 to trade up into your fair value gap and then go down. So now we're gonna back test if every day at 10 do we tap into a higher time frame P array. That's what I want to back test. Because it could not. It could just be, you have to trade just all the concepts. But I want to see if every day we can just look for a PD array on the 1 hour and 4 hour and go from there. But that's how I trade. That's how I got funded. So I don't even know why I switched back to anything else. That's literally how I got funded. Just trading at 10 o'clock. The 10 o'clock candle. 10 o'clock 4 hour candle. We might already be in a gap from way over yonder somewhere. However, we do have S&T right here. We already have S&T because ES took out this high, but obviously this candle is still playing out. So NQ could go up. This is the 9 o'clock candle. So we have to let it play out, and then we'll see what the 10 a.m. candle does. Oh, also, that's also why I was confident in my shorts today. I'll show you what I saw on both higher time frames. We were already at this gap at 9:30. So I just thought we were already just gonna come down. See, we were already tapped kind of high off this gap, or no, this one made a gap. But then at 10, it wanted to come up into the gap higher. But we were already down. We had a nice hammer on the 4 hours, so I just thought this is my target. Here and here. I didn't think we were going to go down to the previous London lows or whatever, but this was just my target. And we did. We just had to go up at 10 o'clock first. So this is why you just sit on the charts, because same thing here. 10 o'clock, it went higher, and then they went lower. So keeps you from getting faked out for the most part. So let's see. Obviously, we started at 9:30, and that's why we're talking about how NQ, you have to let the candles play out. So it could look like S&T, but you let it play out. Usually 10, because this is 9:30, 10 a.m. is going to do all the things you need it to do. Okay, but yeah, I need to mark out some zones because I don't know where we're trying to be. Okay, there is no fair value gap. There's just liquidity here. I mean, there is a tiny gap here, which is like a daily open or something, a weekend open. So maybe that's the gap we're hoping for it to touch. Didn't do that. Because I want to see if you can just always wait for it to bounce off a gap and then reverse, instead of just everyone's at 10 o'clock. There's always a gap they want to reverse and bounce off of, and you can just wait for it, whether it's at 10, at 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock or whatever the fuck. This pissed me off. Sorry. Let's just extend it to the right. And then go back to where we were. Yeah, so let's see at 10 o'clock if we wait for it to come into this gap. There is a gap above it as well. You would just mark them both. And then let's see, we'll go down on a 15-minute chart. I'm sure you can do this on just the 1 hour chart too, honestly, but let's just see if it does reverse or just goes up the rest of the day, and it's the day where at 10 o'clock you should have. I mean, this is a nice move at 10 o'clock if you want to take the trade up to that liquidity point. That's a nice move on NQ. You'll make some money off that if you want to take it. But let's just see if not. All right, boom. Boom. All right, do we get a reversal or we keep going? All right, end of the day for me. So yeah, the buy was just the move. And that's what we talk about. If we're already close to somewhere, if we're already close, if this was down here, I would have waited. But this is a decent move. This is a decent move to the upside still. There was no, as you saw when we zoomed out, there was no gaps. It was just two strong wicks of liquidity, which is this blue line. And there's a gap around top. And that's the end of the day. So if you'd have waited for the reversal, you wouldn't have got it. Which is fine, too. You want to get your losses down. It doesn't matter if you're missing trades. You want to get good at either catching good trades. Let's see at 10 o'clock. This is a 15-minute chart. But see if we just took a trade right at 10 o'clock. Stop loss below the body of this. Will you get a 1 to 2? You do. It would take you to almost the end of the day to get the 1 to 2, but you'd hit this liquidity point here at 12, which is a better time frame. See what I'm saying? And let's see what that looks like on the 4-hour chart. See, one nice big candle. That's where we was going. So if it was close, because like I know on yesterday, on Friday we traded, not Friday, Thursday was the last day I traded. It did this where it came up and then we chopped a little bit, but then we finally came back out at 10. But just wait till 10 o'clock. We did come back into this little order block at 9:30 and then boom, we ran up. Let's see what it looks like on ES, and then we'll go to the next day. But this is how I trade. This is how I got funded. I'm going back to it. ES had a nice move as well. Just mark out your points, and then hopefully you got some SMT, but it did just run up. And this is 2 o'clock. I don't trade PM, but let's see what PM does. It also continued higher. To wick. Oh yeah, continued. So if you held longer, and then we finally reversed, which is an opening in the day gap, because it closed up here and then opened down here, so that is a gap. You can see it's this. I don't trade the opening day gaps, but that's what it is. So yeah, I guess you just want to run up all day. But there was a bigger fair value gap. I was gonna mark. Actually, I'll mark it for y'all so y'all can see. I just knew for me that would reach. There's this one right here. This big fat one right there. There's a tiny one in here, but they're so close together. There's also another one up there. It's a bunch. So you could have your profit target. Actually, didn't hit neither. It only hit this one, so I don't know how you would have guessed we ended here. Maybe there's a gap here on like the 15-minute or something. Yeah, it didn't hit the other ones. It hit the first one. That's why I always set my target at the first one, or maybe there's a liquidity point in between, but anything after that for me, because it might not hit all three. And usually higher time frames, you'll get a whole gap fill, so you could have had your take profit at the full end of the gap. If that makes sense. Let's go to the next day. Go to next New York session. Okay, this time you love when this is what you really want. Days like this, we're already in a gap. Liquidity up here. I don't know what that is. Mark out 10 a.m. So basically, I don't go into bias to be reactive. You would wait. It's obviously came down to this bullish gap to go higher. That's what it will do. If it inverses, you have plenty of targets on the sell side to go down to. But it's, if we close below this, we're definitely going down. Obviously, we start coming out of it, we're going up. However, on ES, this might be our S&T because ES has not coming down to this gap yet. Right? Yeah. Boom, boom. So this could be S&T to go higher. Let's see what that looks like. Let's play this out. Boom. And I'm talking about how you would think maybe at 9:30 it ran up, take it out. You can always get in at 10 o'clock because it'll give you something nice. Now, it's looking like ES did go up though. A good bit, took out these highs. So that could be S&T again to the downside. Let's see if NQ finally pushes up to follow. Boom. That's your S&T reversal. See why you always wait till 10 o'clock? Because you can get faked out. I don't know why I started trading at 9:45. Why did I do that? Try to fix what's not broken. Boom, look at that. Look at that beautiful sell. Now, this is the 4-hour chart. So let's see what that looks like on the 15 or the 3. Yeah, boom. Down to probably this target. or even the bottom of the gap. Like I always said, on the 4-hour chart, gaps always completely fill. So you can always have your target at the bottom. You don't need to go past it any more than that. Let's see on the 3-minute where our entry would have been. Now, ES hasn't really moved that much. And honestly, if you got in right at 10 o'clock, you would have been stopped out. You had to wait, let it go a little bit. And then you get this lovely inverse fair value gap here. So the candle closed below that gap would have been probably where I would have entered. Stop loss above the highs. My first TP I'm doing now, I do 2 contractors at 1-to-1. So my first TP is there. I'll mark that for y'all. First TP is there. I mean, if it even fucking gets there, bitch. It would have, this moves really fast. Second TP there or the bottom of the gap. I probably would just do here. Now I'm trading 2 contracts. I just want to lock in profit because it's still a good amount. It's probably like 4, maybe with 2 contracts. It's probably like $400. You know, so like you only need $200 to get payout. Like, don't get greedy at the beginning. Just get your bearings and make sure you keep getting good trades. Because if you get greedy and then you lose, it's gonna just hurt your confidence more. So I probably have my second take profit just right there, or even sometimes here. You know, liquidity points next, but that's a good trade. It did come out of this gap a little bit. So if you traded at, what is this, 8:30 traders, you got this nice buy to this liquidity point, the London highs. Even these highs up here, if you wanted them, you know, I used to trade at 8:30. It's a nice clean market structure shift. Came back in at 9:30 into this fair value gap here. This lovely fair value gap here for the 9:30 traders. Boom, buys to the London high if you wanted it. But yeah, sometimes 9:30 is just not this clean, so that's why. But I guess, but your stop loss would have been kind of big, not gonna lie. But that's why I used to get 8:30, because at least 8:30 you'll catch the bottom. 9:30 you usually get another tap, and then 8:30 you usually get the biggest trade of the day. But that's why I trade at 10. See how it's bigger than the full 8:30 trade. And it's usually just cleaner. Sometimes 9:30 is crazy, sometimes 8:30 is crazy. Like 10 has got me to get not faked out like I did today. If I would have stayed on at 10 o'clock, I would have taken that great trade today. Maybe smaller loss, or maybe full profit if I waited. Maybe just break even. Either way, it would have been way better than the trades I took. Trades I took weren't bad though. I'm not even mad at it today. I'm mad I didn't wait till 10 o'clock, but I'm not mad at, like, I waited for like SMT. I waited for a lot of other stuff that happened. All right, 10 o'clock the next day. And like I said, higher time frames just keep you from getting faked out. There's no way this is the next day. This looks crazy, but let's mark out 10 o'clock. Maybe do have a liquidity sweep. This was SMT from yesterday, the one we took, that nice 10 a.m. to the downside. And this is the new day. I mean, oh yeah, because this was the gap from yesterday that ES never took. And then yesterday we came down and filled it, and we're pushing higher. But now we might come back down again. So let's just let 9 a.m. show us what we want to do, and we'll see what happens after that. It's a good part about 10 a.m. You can wait for something. Okay, that did not help us much at all. We do get some SMT on these candles. This high was not taken out. The 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. high, barely. And then on ES though, it did take it out. So maybe that's a sign of a reversal down to this low here, maybe. Again, this is a 4-hour chart, and it's very much sped up. You're gonna have time to analyze this, and or, you know, this low from yesterday. Then if you're confident in this sell trade though, you could go down to a 15-minute or a 3-minute chart and wait for, you know, a change in the state delivery. See if there's like a fair value gap you can enter off of if you want it, like this one, if you're really confident. I don't like doing limit orders like that though. But I mean, I would wait for the candle close out of it now, which obviously, big ass candle close out of it, I would lose a lot of however, if I wait for it to candle close out, my stop loss is just that high. But this is the bearish fair value gap, so I mark it red. So let's see if it really bounced out, and then yeah, you can just take it to this low. Honestly, that's a good move down. But see, that's why I always wait. Cause see that candle closed out of it, but not good enough. Are we finally getting our push down? Boom. Okay, now you got it. So I mean, if your stop loss was this high, it did stop you out. If you got in right at 10 o'clock for sales, I mean, this is where we opened. If you got in for sales, that's a big ass stop loss. I wouldn't look at it, but like I said, we weren't sure. We wanted to see a little more movement. Wait till 10 a.m. It gave you a better entry than you would at 9:30 anyway. If you are a 9:30 trader, this move down is decent, but this macro move is a little better because at least it took out a liquidity point on its way up, and then you got your reversal out of here. So, but then we see how we waited for the candle to close. These were all strong pink candles, and then they wound up having these big wicks. These wicks are telling you we don't know what we want to do yet. This wicks looks like we want to go up. Then we got a nice upside, boom, and then we got a full displacement. That is the candle you're enter off of. Honestly, if you can honestly be patient enough to wait for displacement candles only, that is a big stop loss, sadly, but you'll be Gucci. And then, yeah, you get a 1. Do you get a 1 to 2? You get 1 to 3 at that point. So you don't even need to wait for the yesterday one, like I had marked previously. 1 to 2 from the 9:45 low. Boom. And then always have your 1 to 1 first. So you're not even scared to hold the trade. Yeah, your 1 to 1, take profit first. And honestly, the high, which sucks. You gotta have it at the high. Boom. And then your second one for 1 to 2 is probably more what I would do. And that's it, y'all. So I'm really excited to trade. Back at 10 a.m. So much more clarity. I feel like sitting on the higher time frames. Like I said, we got that SMT on the 4-hour that really helped us. Adding SMT into my strategy really has been very powerful because you're just more confident in taking a trade. Whether you get a market trigger shift, if not, you might want to get in earlier. Your SMT. See how we didn't take out this high, and it could be candles. It could be fair value gaps, like a fair value gap that was tapped into on one and not the other. It doesn't have to be just like a swing high and swing low. It could be like 3 candles, even a 15-minute chart, even a 1 minute. It could be like 2 candles in the 1 minute. It's always just the little mismatch in the 2 pairs that are correlated, and then boom, the low. So yeah, we took it to this candle low from 9:45. We didn't have to take it to this low, but it actually did go down to that low if you wanted it. Crooked ass line there. Jeez. But yeah, it did go to that low. Or if you wanted it at the top of the fair value gap, you got it. And then, yeah. Next New York session. Yeah, I don't know why I do that. I would start trading. We had some days where 9:30 caught these big ass moves. And I just wouldn't trade that day or wanted to get in. Even though I still got entry at 10 a.m. It was just news or something at 10 a.m. Okay, what do we have here? Next New York session. Mark that 10 a.m. candle. There's no fair value gap, but there is one on ES. So maybe just wait for ES to come up in there. We already have some SMT. This candle looks higher than this candle, but we should let this 9:30 play out fully before we can mark. Obviously your buy side target are these highs up here. Your sell side target. I mean, we are still in this big ass gap from all week. So maybe let's finally inverse this gap. Sell side target is probably here. What does that look like on ES? Yeah, that's this candle on ES. That is not what I want to do. This candle on ES. That's so you can check your S&T. So sometimes, you know, you can wait for that. You can wait for one to get taken out and the other one not. But let's see. All right, NQ's pushing. So ES might push. All right, NQ is pushing. All right, 10 o'clock. All right, coming from this, I'm taking sales to this line. Sales. I think that is a good trade. Even just of this 4-hour chart. ES did not come back into this yet. It is looking bearish. But it'd be smart, obviously, to wait. To go down to a lower time frame and see. Let's see what this risk reward is. Obviously, don't take a trade on the 4-hour chart. So let's go down to the 3-minute and see if there's, you know, a gap somewhere. Well, there literally isn't one. So, I mean, there is this order block if you want it. Some people mark order blocks at the body. Some people mark it at the fucking. I like to make my order blocks white. Do we tap into it? I can't even see with this dotted line. I think we tapped into it. Either way, that could be your limit order if you wanted it. I don't set limit orders again because, like I said, I need to see it react off this order block. I need to see, you know. Jeez, that's so far way down. It's a big ass trade. I'd obviously wait though. Boom. Well, there you go. There you go. You could look at that beautiful ass trade. Beautiful trade. I mean, that one was kind of obvious. Like, that's why you look at the 4-hour. Some days the 4-hour is not obvious, but like it was so obvious we were going down there. We already inverted this gap. Candle closed below it. Getting in buys right at 10 o'clock. But you see how if I would have got in at 10, because you know me, I get greedy. My entry would have been way worse versus we waited for it to come up into that order block. We didn't get a value gap. It came up into that order block, and then you get a better entry. And obviously my stop loss on the 4 hours was this body, but you realize you don't have to have it that big if you know, go on a lower time frame. Then you got S&T again. We loved it. We got the S&T. This candle swept the high. If you need to see what that looks like, here it made a higher high on this candle, and then on ES it made a lower low at 9:30 candle, and then they both just pushed. So yeah, I'm going back to this. Should give me a payout soon too. Now that I'm trading 2 micros, even though I'm now negative like $1,000 on the account. I have $1,000 to lose, and I blow my funded account. But I have a 150 account I'm in a challenge with. That's up, so that's why I'm not tripping on blowing the 50K, because then I can just pass the 150K, and that's really all I need. And I could do this strategy with 2 micros. And it's so under leveraged. Versus on the 50K, it's so hard to not over leverage, even with 1 micro. You know, it's not ideal with the 2K drawdown. But let's go back to what your 1-to-1 would be. So your first TP, it's tiny stop loss. Honestly, first TP could just be find a liquidity point. Honestly, because your stop loss is so fucking tiny. But if that's what you want, you can still do your 1-to-1. So that's why, like, you should never move your stop loss to break even, because trades need to play out. There are days where your trade, even like today. Today we went to break even like 4 times. You know, like my entry was the close of this candle out of the gap. So my entry was this yellow line. Look how many times we went out, back up, out, back out, up, back out, and then ran. That's why you don't move your stop loss to break even. What you do is, which does suck when you take a loss like mine, it's a little bigger than your regular loss, so I get it, it does suck. However, you have your first take profit the same distance from your stop loss, and then you let your second take profit be whatever your target was. You see what I'm saying? So even if it goes your way and doesn't hit your TP and then loses, you lost $0, and you let the trade play out. Do you use doji candles to trade? No, I use ICT concepts. I don't really trade off pure candles. I do trade off hammer candles only sometimes, like I did today, and you see how it fucking betrayed me. Obviously, it wasn't that much of a hammer on ES. I mean, it still was a hammer, but I would trade simply off these candles, like a hammer, a long wick, small body in a direction. I'll trade off a hammer, but I don't really try to trade off candles because you can get faked out. There's a day that happened like this. We got this beautiful hammer, like we're going to the upside, and then we went down, took out sell side liquidity. Like, that's why I don't try to trade off hammers anymore. Even this one, look at this big ass fucking wick, small body, and then we fucking reverse. You know, so trading off just candles is not the best. But of the candles to trade, the hammer is probably the only one that, like, I say 60% of the time, like, it's showing like we're going to move, but just wait for the move. But yeah, I don't trade just candles. I try to trade off of fair value gaps, and I kind of wait for a reaction off of it. But you see how like that 4 hour just told you exactly where we were going. You had no drawdown on this fucking trade. You waited for it to come into an order block. If you got in right at 10 o'clock, either way, you got, you know, let's see. If you did get in at 10 o'clock, sorry, it's so fat because we made this on the 4 hour chart. If you got in right at 10 o'clock, because like I said, I know me. I'm impatient. That's something I work on. But I'm getting better at now going on the 3 minute. There's usually fair value gap or order block like this. Wait for it to tap into it and then wait to react off of it. 10 o'clock opened here, ran up. Stop loss would be these highs. So your first TP would be here, which is good. Hit your TP quickly. Trade it sideways on it. So even if you got scared, it helps you not be scared to sell this. Because this is a little scary. This is a 3 minute chart too, not even 50 minute chart. This is a little scary. Like, you know, it's just trading sideways. Is it going to reverse on me? Lock in profits. You already locked in some. Boom. You locked in some profits. So then you didn't sell too early. And then you let your second runner just run. And now you know, you made like $400. So this is how I'm going to be trading probably for the rest. It does suck. I'm a little over leveraged on my 50K account. So that's why it sucks for that. However, it does help you be confident to hold runners. And if it does work out, you do get payouts faster. Because you're making like now $300, $400 a day. You can get a payout. You can just get like a $200 payout like every week, you know. And you don't have to like, because with $200, with one micro and making $200 a day, like getting a payout, you're kind of eating in your drawdown before you blow your account. Versus like $400, you could take out like a good half of that. All right, let's go to the next New York session. But yeah, I don't know why I started trading at fucking 9:45. Like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Don't be like me. But again, it's a common beginner thing to do. It's just what we love to do. What I love to do. Like little tweaks of things, especially with ICT concepts. There's so many. You can add a little razzle dazzle. Oh, this looks not the best. So let's mark out 10 a.m. on both. You know what I'm saying? But I'm excited to go back to trading at 10 a.m. I really am. I feel like I was so much more confident. I was so calm. We do have a value gap here. We don't have one. It's this candle here. But we have come up already and swept the body. As I said, have we? We haven't swept the body yet, but we are higher. Because this candle is this candle with a gap. So these haven't even come into the gap. Versus here, we've already kind of hit almost the top of the candle. So this is technically S&T, but we got to let this 930 candle play out. Now there is a gap here on ES that's bullish. So if we're looking bearish, like what it looks like on NQ, we need to see a candle close down below this gap on ES, if that makes sense to y'all. If that doesn't, I'm sorry. There's another gap also right here, which I don't like when they're close together like this. But that might be the S&T. There is no gap on, wait, let's see. I'm trying to see if one of these is similar. Whoa, that's kind of S&T actually. So this low here, we already broke it. That low here is this same low on ES. We're way above it. So that might be the S&T. That might be a sign to wait for it. wait for ES to come down, and we're playing buys back up. We already swept the low. I don't think ES will sweep the low. Maybe it will sweep the low. Maybe you want sells. There is a fair value gap too, though, which is the best part about S&T. There's always a fair value gap. There's a skinny one here, and so there's always going to be either a gap. So if one goes lower, like I said, there's always still a gap or a liquidity point it can reverse from. Like if ES just wants to take this liquidity point here first and reverse, you know what I'm saying? So it's looking like wait for it to reverse back up is what it looks like. Let's see if ES can come and hit these highs. Let's see. That's what it's looking like. But I like to be reactive. Boom. That's your S&T. Hopefully. Where's the target? I guess the fair value gap. Let's see if it goes up there. Come on, push. You wanna go lower? Boom. See, it's so easy. It's so easy. I don't know why it's went to 945. The 10 a.m. candle is always the biggest candle of the day. Look at it. SMT for the win. NQ was lower. They both had gaps to reverse from. Obviously, NQ has moved better. That's why I stick to it, even though you know you lose more money, but your wins are bigger. You have this beautiful fucking reversal. You could have gotten in right at 10 o'clock on this one. You could have waited for this fair value gap to be inversed, which still happens at the end of the 10 a.m. close. So if at latest, you should have been in right at this 10 a.m. to 3 a.m. candle. Or you could have waited for it to come back down, which you did, and then yeah, took it up to that fair value gap. I probably would have gotten in at 10 o'clock on this one, not even gonna lie. So nice. Nice 1 to 4. And does it fill the gap? Probably, because that's what it does on the higher time frame. But beautiful trades. To get my confidence back for sure. I've been taking so many losses because I went to 9:45, which is not what I do. I do 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, it just, the story's already played out. All this 9:30 bullshit, look at that. Some days 9:30 is clear, sometimes 9:30 is just doing this. 10 o'clock, it's already ready to let you know where it wants to go. Sit on a higher time frame, you get a better narrative. That's how we knew. You might not see this in the 15-minute or 1 hour. I mean, the one hour will show you pretty much the same thing. It'll be a little different, but and then you just take that big ass candle up to the moon, and it's definitely gonna fill that gap. Boom, like I told you, you can always have your take profit at the end of a fair value gap. Anything after that, you do it at your own will with your own strategy. I mean, next liquidity is here. Do we think it's going there? Good. I don't know. We did sweep this one. So that could have been your second target if you wanted it. Like I said, I don't get greedy. This is already, what, 1 to 6? I mean, but I mean, I'm already break even. That's the good part about it. Since I have that extra contract that I'm selling, this is just a runner at that point. I don't know if I would do that though, because just some days it will just start to run against you, and then your profits are getting away. But hey, oh yeah, I mean, yeah, that's not bad. It's a strong lone swing high with a big wick like this. Yeah, that's a good target actually. Then up here was that next one. So give me that 4 hour. Every top of a 4 hour is usually a swing high on the lower time frame. Look at that 1 to 7 trade. See what I'm saying? 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock does it. I don't know why I left it, and I've been losing since, but I feel good. All I need is like 2 wins, and my drawdown's done, so it's like not that big of a deal. Just can't lose my mojo. Let's do, dang, it's going by so fast today. I mean, slowly today. Let's do another one. Next New York session. Yeah, that was one from yesterday. Look at that. See, the biggest candle of the day is usually 10 o'clock. Work out 10 o'clock. Hold on. Did I do next New York session? Because why is this not 10 o'clock? don't know what it was doing. But anyway, this was the trade we were supposed to map out yesterday, but let's just look at it. Okay. We're already at the next day, but SMT 10 o'clock. And this is why you always wait till 10 o'clock, because sometimes if you're on NQ, your stop loss just got taken out on NQ. Boom, and then that was our trade for the rest of that day. It came down. It didn't really sweep liquidity on the downside, but we got our reversal, which was the biggest move of the day. This was obviously a shitty trading day. As you can see, these candles are small, but you still could have caught this move. And we can go on the 3 minute and look at it. Actually, this might have been a holiday. No. Friday. Yeah, this was like a holiday or something. Yeah, Easter or something, because that's not making any sense, and the times aren't adding up. So yeah, that's probably why I was doing that, because it was a holiday. And then that's the one holiday the market's actually closed for real. I know I trade holidays on accident all the time, but Easter I've gotten on the chart and nothing, like it doesn't even move at all. Versus like other holidays like MLK, the market will still move normally, it'll just be smaller moves, just FYI. Okay, so it's looking like there's there's a small fair value gap here on ES. There's a huge one here, clearly about to inverse it. So let's look at what SMT on the downside. If we can take it further, I would love to keep taking it down. However, I think we're gonna keep going down. I do. We're already so close. On both of them, we're so close, so I think they're both gonna get taken out. Now, if ES takes this and NQ doesn't, that's your sign we're going back up. There is a fair value gap in here. There obviously still is this big one that is like this one from IQ on ES. We're still not at these lows. So let's just see how this plays out. Mark 10 o'clock. Because we see when this candle's gonna close. See, it's still before 10 o'clock. Still before 10 o'clock, so let's just see how both these candles close. All right, neither of them took this low. So this is no obvious signs of where we're going, just FYI. If y'all see something that y'all would trade on this, I mean, we do invert this, but I still am not confident. We're so close to this liquidity point on both of these. I'm trying to see if there's SMT anywhere, but I don't see it. Okay, now we're finally going down on both. Well, let's see what this looks like on the 3 minute chart. Maybe we just came up into some fair value gap or some. Yeah, see if you got in sales right at 10 o'clock. Absolutely not. You had any limit orders set, any of these order blocks? Absolutely not. I mean, there was a fair value gap up here. So while you wait, we didn't even tap it. There is one here that we did tap technically. It's tiny, but we didn't quite hit that one. That was the one I would have wanted. Close. But you do now, we come back to this gap that we invert on the 4 hour, close to this, and now you do have a change in the state and delivery here. So if you want to get in up the candle close of that, maybe take it to just one of these liquidity points. I wouldn't trust the one we marked earlier. That could be your thing. Stop loss above the high here. Let's see how it plays out though. Boom. A loss. And so I was talking about why I don't just set in limit orders, because this wouldn't have told me anything. Because if it would have tapped into here and closed out, maybe, but like I said, you did get a change in the state delivery. It did take out this low and then reversed. So If you took that trade, it wouldn't have been a bad trade because you would have had to take profit at 1-to-1. That's why this is why we do it now. And then your second one would have been, whatever. And then once you start to reverse, you probably would have sold. So whatever you got at 1-to-1, you probably would have made almost the same amount or a little less once you start to reverse. If not, you could completely let it go to 0, or you could have moved yourself to break even and just lock in the profit from your 1-to-1. So it wouldn't have been the worst. You know what I'm saying? That's why that 1-to-1 is such a good strategy. Whatever your stop loss is, it usually will go 1-to-1 and then, reverse on your ass. But like I said, from the 4-hour, I just was not sure what we were doing. I wouldn't have thought we were just going to straight reverse from here. You did, so that would have sucked. Maybe we got back in. Maybe we would have sold and then got back in once we inverse this fair value gap here. I only take one trade a day though. That's my rule. Sometimes I did break it today though, so I could have broke it again, and then took the buy from here. Would have been the only trade I would have waited for. I don't think we would have caught the bottom of this trade. That's a nice trade, 1-to-4. Because we wouldn't have cut the bottom because we didn't sweep liquidity. If we would have took out this purple line on at least one of them, I would have been confident in us reversing and caught the bottom of this move. But neither of them did, which is weird. So I would have waited. But again, this is a good move if you were just sitting on the 3-minute and you caught this and you held it all the way, Either way, at 10, you got a nice one as well. This one down is probably what I would have took because I just know myself. And been a small gain for me that day. Or maybe this would have made me confident in buys, but I don't know. I thought we were still maybe going to sweep this purple line. Let's see what it looks like on the 4-hour. But yes, you should be back testing like this every day if you're not profitable. And even when you are, you should only stop back testing once you've made like a bunch of money. I feel like, or anytime you test a new strategy, be back testing like this. But yeah, 10 a.m. You see why 10 a.m. is just elite. Obviously, this day, 9:30, was the bigger move, and that happens sometimes. And most of the time, it's still 10 o'clock. And there's no way we would be able to call this. There's not even an S&T at the bottom. They both made higher highs. So there's no way we would have called this. Maybe this is like a 15-minute fair value gap on a different time frame, but there's just no way we would have called that reversal. So we would have just got in, like I said, on the second half. Once you saw it move up a little bit, maybe you're like, okay, we're going up. It had your target up here, whatever it was. But that's it, y'all. That's how I trade. Like I said, I've taken a lot of losses trading at 9:45. Why? Don't know. But I'm going back to 10 o'clock. Sit on the 4-hour just like this. This is what made me profitable. This is what got me funded. This has been the best thing I've ever done. Entering on a 3-minute, not the 1, not the 5. And that's just been helping me. So I'm back. I was at a wedding this weekend, and so I took 3 days off from live. I go live every night, 8 o'clock p.m. This is what we do. Backtest our strategy, see how good it is, practice calling the charts, practice calling the moves. And yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow at 8. And I might go live after my trade in the morning, depending on how I feel. But yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow.